Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to another tropical forecast, and we're starting to merge back in the tropics as it seems as if the Atlantic is trying to wake up once again. We still have Tropical Storm Gama that had made landfall in the Cancun, Yucatan area yesterday and still bringing tropical storm winds for those areas as well. Also, we do have Invest 92L out there in the Western Caribbean and expected to possibly pose a threat most likely for areas of the Gulf Coast of the United States, as that's where models are trending this to potentially make it landfall at a 70% chance for the next 5 days. And then we have two other disturbances out in the Atlantic here that have a 10% chance. But the tropics are definitely starting to wake up compared to what it looked like 3 or 4 days ago, when we had not a single thing except a little disturbance, which became Gama. But hope you guys do enjoy the video. We're going to be looking at all these systems. Most likely, we're going to be focusing on the majority of the videos, Invest 92L and Gama. But we're going to briefly talk about, most likely in the end of the video, those two smaller disturbances out in the middle of the Atlantic. But before we get into the video, please subscribe if you're new, hit the like button, and post notification icon. Without further ado, let's go into this video. So obviously this is nothing compared to what we had in July or August, but this is definitely the tropics waking up compared to what we had 3 or 4 days ago. But there we got Tropical Storm Gama, which made landfall yesterday and is now starting to go back out into the sea and expected to go to a western turn and pose a threat throughout much of the Bay of Campeche coast here, as it could very well bring in close call landfalls, but not 100% sure where that second landfall will be, if there will be one before it dies. But kind of models are kind of showing like going south and then kind of going back north, so it's going to be like a coast rider based on the National Hurricane Center and a couple models there. But Gama is at 995 millibars. They got as low as 980 millibars yesterday, so it was super duper close to becoming a hurricane. I believe it was maximum 70 miles an hour, I believe, or 65 miles an hour, but it's moving north at 4 miles an hour, so it's gonna get back in the ocean soon before it starts weakening more. Here's Invest 92L. Actually, it is updated now to an 80% chance. It's not a 70 anymore. It's an 80% chance for the next 5 days. And as you see, it's not expected to go like Gama, where it kind of goes like that. It's expected to do a northern turn sooner, which will pose a threat most likely for the coast, the Gulf Coast of the United States, also Jamaica, Cuba. You guys also at a risk for some potential flooding with the heavy downpours that this Invest has, but could very well be more than an Invest by the time it gets past Yucatan and Cuba. So this is also going to pose a threat for the Yucatan Peninsula, because it's going to bring even more rain. Adding on to what Gama brought, but definitely it seems as if this is going to be a potential Gulf Coast threat here. And then we have two other disturbances right here that have a 10% chance each, I believe. Yes, they do have both a 10% chance for 48 hours and 5 days, so equal chances for 48 hours and 5 days. So it seems that these are going to possibly just most likely not become anything. I mean, it doesn't seem like there's any models picking up on this. Obviously, we will wait and see if the chances do increase here. Conditions are decently favorable. I mean, they're not the most favorable, but they're also not the most unfavorable. So we're just going to be keeping not close eye, just going to moderately watch this, see if they do increase in the next coming updates throughout today. So here's like now IR brightness, and as you do see, there's that low pressure right there in Gama. Actually, no, it's not. There's our low pressure right here. Oh, Gama is just getting out into sea right now. As you see, there's that center convection more to the north of that low pressure. So that convection, all that convection is kind of to the north of the low pressure there. So it kind of makes like the low pressure is really, really open. But it seems as if it's definitely it's definitely seeing that the low pressure is now over water, and then it's going to be moving 4 miles an hour. So it's not going to look like it's moving anywhere, but then it's going to start taking a western turn. I know it's going to a northern turn right now, but now it's going to go to a western turn, a very weird turn, most likely because that cold turn up there in the southeast we have there impacting where the storm will go. But this is exactly why it could very well be a Campeche threat as well now. Gonna possibly bring in some more rain along the Bay of Campeche coast as it's gonna be moving very slowly and gonna bring in some really heavy rain. So here's like now at the another view of tropical storm Gamma. This is actually overnight. As you see, it's bringing a lot of cloud cover. Actually, the cloud cover is very impressive for the size of the system. Bringing cloud cover as far as Panama City, as far as Jacksonville, as far as Savannah, Georgia. I mean, this cloud cover is really stretching out really fast. It's quite impressive how large this cloud cover is from the low pressure. Obviously, the low pressure is only right here, and that's kind of where that kind of dense cloud cover is. But these outer band cloud cover is definitely extremely widespread. As you kind of see, it's more that northeastern quadrant than anything else. But so it's kind of seems like it's one-sided. It definitely seems like it's one-sided here, because if it was if it was directly even, you have cloud cover like that, obviously. But definitely seeing a ton of cloud cover throughout Florida today, even all the way up into New Orleans, Mobile. You guys can be seeing some scattered cloud cover, all because of a tropical storm that is in the Yucatan Peninsula, which is pretty far away. But as you see, it's definitely pretty impressive size-wise, especially that cloud cover making it look a lot bigger than it really is. But yeah, this is we're going to continue monitoring now a western trend, so it's not going to continue to go north and hit the United States or anything. We did expect that northern trend, but now it's going to be like some weird turn that's going to be going along the coast of the Bay of Campeche. So here is the cone here for from the National Hurricane Center, and as you do see, yep, that low pressure is overseed now, and we still do have tropical storm. We still do have tropical storm warnings for portions of the Yucatan Peninsula, including Cancun, and then we do have some tropical storm watches as well in that area. But as you do see, it's going to be very slow moving storm, so it's still going due north, but it's going to go straight to the southwestern. Like I said, when I mean it's going to be like going along the Bay of Campeche coast, it's going to go like this. Like, it's not going to not necessarily going to be making a landfall. It looks like it will. See, it looks like it's going to make a landfall, and then it start going west. Like, is it going to like just go along the Bay of Campeche coast and not make a landfall and possibly weaken, but head for like Texas or northern Mexico? Like, how's that going to work here? I mean, we don't really have much information like on what's going to happen here. Like, it's kind of unknown. Like, will it actually make landfall and not go due west? Or is it going to do that weird track that the National Hurricane Center shows and possibly just maybe go like this? Or possibly go like this and then die? Like, that's the thing. It's really not 100%. We're not 100% confident, or I'm not 100% confident where this is going to be going. But here it is sitting at 50 miles an hour. Some models are getting this to slightly weakening, but not much. And then some are getting this to really weakening. And that's just going to be because those cooler waters, depending on where it goes track-wise. Now let's merge into talking about Invest 92L. So as you do see, it has a decent amount of convection there. And as you do see, this is where we have that convection, the low pressure, most likely around this general area here. And as you see, we do have a pretty widespread amount of convection here. Obviously, it's not supposed to organize anything, but it is heading for the general area of Jamaica. Not like a landfall necessarily, but it's going to bring some rain, maybe some slight flash flooding for Jamaica, as it will obviously organize by the time it gets there. Obviously going to possibly bring some rain for areas of western Cuba and portions of the Yucatan Peninsula there. But now let's go and take a look at the tracks. How strong do models expect 92L to actually get? Could it hit the U.S.? Could it do a Gamma? That's exactly what we'll be looking at. So here's all the tracks we have so far on 92L. As you do see, we have, I believe it's like around 6 or 7 models. And as you do see, they kind of not making landfall in Jamaica, like I said. We're going to bring some rain, possibly maybe making a slight landfall there for the western Cuba area. But this all matters because if it kind of actually goes, if it actually does hit Jamaica, that means it could possibly go like that further east, which most likely won't happen. These tracks we have right now, they're pretty reasonable. Actually, these actually seem pretty reasonable. Something that I would say, but it seems as if this is where the majority of the models are taking it, possibly heading for like a far west or far eastern Louisiana or maybe even Mississippi landfall here. And obviously, the waters are pretty cold off the Gulf Coast, like 26, 27 degrees Celsius on the Gulf Coast, but we do have 28, 29, 30 degrees Celsius in the middle of the Gulf, so it could very well become quite strong. Not like major hurricane strong, but quite strong, and possibly weaken before maybe hitting the United States. But this is just what we have so far cone-wise, and obviously once it actually does become a tropical depression, then soon tropical storm, we'll have a better idea, especially as the National Hurricane Center will put out their cone. So intensity guidance, as you see, majority get us to becoming a tropical storm before the next 12 hours, and then 99% of them get it to become a tropical storm before the next 24 hours. So could very well see Delta quite soon here. And then a lot of them getting this to a hurricane. I mean, we have a good bit getting this to a hurricane in pretty soon, 60 hours. I mean, it's quite soon. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 models getting to a category 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 getting to category 2, 2 to category 3, and 1 to category 4. I think this is definitely a reasonable strength here. Like, that's definitely reasonable, as we do have those really warm waters in the Yucatan Peninsula between Cuba, pretty warm waters in the central Gulf of Mexico, and then it possibly maybe weakened a little bit if it does go to the United States, because we had quite the cold waters there, and this is what we're talking about. I mean, 26 degrees, 25 degrees Celsius off the Gulf Coast. So this is what I'm saying. If it does go like this, it'll definitely strengthen in this time frame, which means it could definitely become a category 1 or category 2. As you do see, it's going to go through quite a lot of 30 degrees Celsius there, and then 29 degrees Celsius, and 28 degrees Celsius, and then once you get to this point, it's going to weaken, because in order to withstand a hurricane or tropical cyclone, you need at least a minimum of 26 degrees Celsius. And this is where it gets to that point. So we have a pretty big area right here from the 26 degrees Celsius mark to the Gulf Coast. So that's what I'm saying. It's possibly going to definitely get strong, decently strong, and then possibly just weaken. The amount it's gonna weaken depending on like the speed it's going. If it's going really slow, it's always gonna weaken a lot. If it's going rather fast, it's gonna weaken maybe, but not too much. Probably won't impact it much. So here's a look at the models. As you see, GFS has gamma possibly strengthening back to 993 millibars. Then 994, then kind of going up to 1,002 millibars, and just dying. I mean, like I'm saying, I mean, models are all over the place. And then GFS then has potentially, we got 92L there, possibly maybe Delta, and then it's actually taking it towards Texas or Louisiana, but only at 1,001 millibars minimum. I mean, like, not models are really showing this. It's kind of hard. It has a 80% chance for development in the next 5 days and a 70 in the next 48 hours. But models don't really show it forming, really, or forming, but very weak. I mean, 1,004 millibars, 1,004, then like 1,008. I mean, it's definitely something like that's quite, I mean, weird. Check out the icon as well. There's icon that shows gamma, and an icon, you can kind of see that low pressure there going between Yucatan Peninsula and Cuba. And then it gets to 999 millibars, and then kind of going straight to like a straight loop like that. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I mean, they're all over the place. I mean, the GFS takes towards Texas, but extremely weak, and then like the CMC kind of goes like that, and then like that, and then icon goes like a loop like that. I mean, it's all over the place. I know it's invest, so we have plenty of time, but I'm just saying, it's definitely not the thing you want to see when you have a storm that can be a long trek. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please don't have to like, subscribe, hit the like button, and post notification icon. So yeah, I'm going to definitely keep a look on the tropics in the next coming days.